Hey campers, Mr. Joswiak here. All right. It's time to launch in to what's going to feel like more like real school. All right. Once again, I'm going to lecture and then we're going to test. Oh boy. Oh man. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to go. I'm going to lecture now. I'm going to lecture now on the communication process because that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. Remember, part of my course, how to talk to and listen to almost anybody about almost anything and still be able to get along. Communication, in other words. All right, but listen, before we even get started with what I call Chapter 2, the communication process, we gotta know some stuff, all right? If you want to be successful on the upcoming tests where there's points, they throw big money at me to test you and give you points. If it was up to me, I'd hang out a sign that says good communication taught here, and people would flock in if they want to learn. But I got to give points. So you want to be successful? You want to get your glorious A's? Ooh, you want to do that? Then do this. When we start that lecture series called Chapter 2, all right, when we get into the actual nuts and bolts of the communication process, what you ought to do is you ought to do a couple of things like, pause certain areas of the video. Pause them. Hit the pause button, especially, and here's a major hint. Let's pretend the magic whiteboard drops in with some scribbles that I put down. Magic whiteboard, okay? You might want to pause it and jot it down in your notebooks. And I know this sounds weird, but I am going to tell you that the most successful students last spring watched the lecture videos, they took notes at the same time, and they studied from the notebooks, not the videos, to go back and take the tests. Now listen, if you're going to take the tests and then try to rewind videos real quick and take the test, that's a recipe for disaster. So watch the videos, hit the pause button, write stuff down, and if you want, here's an excellent idea. Rewind. Reroll. You heard something and you didn't quite get it, or it went by too quickly because I'm an idiot. Okay? If you heard something and you're wondering about it, rewind and take good notes. Serially, okay? All right, there. Major hint. All right? There's a couple of other things that we're going to do. I'm going to drop in some words every once in a while. Those will be important, but now listen very carefully. It's not just, and here's where some students got a little off track last spring. It's not just the whiteboard notes. It's not just the highlights that I drop in. Okay? Listen, take notes through the whole video because there's some stuff that just comes out of my mouth. All right? And then it's on the test. It's on the test. Like definitions. I'm not going to drop in definitions. I'm going to say definitions. Okay? All right, there we go. Let's get the party started. The communication process, all right? The communication process is upon us, okay? Moving a message from a sender to a receiver. And we're going to see that starting with the terms of the communication process. But once again, all I wanted to do with this video is to tell you that this is going to be important. This is going to be important, okay? Pause, take notes, listen, take notes, rewind, take notes, and then, when the test comes for the points, there, you have your notes. They're sitting there. They're there. Okay? Use them. Use them. All right. There's a hint. All right. I love each and every one of you. And here we go. The next video will be the first in the lecture series for the communication process.